Welcome to the Heavyweight Podcast.
The Heavyweight Podcast. Heavyweight Podcast. You listen?
We can weigh in on some heavy shit, you know.
What's good? This is the Heavyweight Podcast, episode number 43. Poetry. I am your host, Molito, with these three guys. Go ahead and state your names.
Adam McFly, aka Jesse the Barber Son.
I am Kevin Wendell, last 48, Ellis.
This is Geek 40, aka the virtual guy.
You want to tell them why you're the last 48?
It's TMI. You said I had to hit the pause last time I told y'all.
Let's just say he hasn't had a pleasure.
Pissing out of my asshole for the past 48 hours. Let's just...
Man, tensions are high. It's been a stressful day all around over here. But we're here because we're consistency. How was your week, fellas? McFly? I saw you bald today. Put a triple double up.
It was cool. Listen to Kendrick Lamar.
Bars.
Expired by Kendrick Lamar.
Bars.
Yeah, hooped about it.
That's it.
Well, a little irritated, so yeah.
Hey, man. It's okay to be irritated, yeah.
Yeah, we need that passion.
Yeah, I think my week, shit. It's always something I can't talk about until it happens. I had some good stuff happen. Hopefully it comes to fruition. Then I can display more to the rest of everybody. So I think that went well. And I did the same, listening to Kendrick. And I don't know, I was inspired, but I think I was pissed off at myself more than anything, which is weird. Probably not the shit he was trying to convey, but maybe that's what he was trying to convey.
He was
saying you were pissed off by what he was telling you? It made you mad at yourself?
It made me mad at myself for like, damn, nigga, what are you doing?
Like, shit.
So he did the what is it, the guy from that one community college or
the
Everest College guy? He did that to you?
You ain't doing shit with yourself. They just on the couch. You ain't doing shit.
Everest you.
I slowed down the car. I was like, slow down. I'm mad at myself.
What about you, Geek?
Just trying to do this D&D thing, trying to figure out how to do it and make money doing it. And then also just dealing with some family COVID shit. So
did you listen to Kendrick?
I have not, because I've been tasked with some things, and that's kind of been my focus for the past like 3 days.
Okay.
So get some duct tape, dip your hands in wax, and put some glass. Start knocking some heads.
This is not Bloodsport.
I think he needs to go to Bloodsport.
Or was that Kickboxer? Which one was it?
There's a lot going on. I think it was Bloodsport.
My week has been outside of the day has been for the most part peaceful. I had a lot of self-discovery this week. Took a lot of good steps forward. I'm trying to change my mental. Try to become a little better. Work was a breeze. I had some heavy shit happen today that never want to see, but I'm here. I made it back alive, and I'm here with you fellas doing this this podcast thing. But I guess let's jump back into it. First topic. I'm pretty sure, we're always late because things always seem to happen after we record. But the Dave Chappelle tackle. I don't know the dude's name, but he got his ass whooped.
He got locked up. He deserved it.
And they have decided to drop the charges from felony to misdemeanor assault, which I think is some bullshit, because I think you don't go tackle somebody without thinking you're gonna harm them. But I guess my question,
prosperity out his ass.
They fucked him up.
That motherfucker was doing this by the end of that. Walk
He
like
look,
an Egyptian. He was living it.
he looked like Martin when he had that allergic reaction and he had all the lumps and shit.
He had the
They
bump on.
they fucked him up, but
I mean, Hitman Hearns whooped his ass.
hey, it's bad. So I guess my question to you guys is that, what, I guess it's a two-part. First of all, what do you think his goal was? What do you think he was going to achieve? And then what was his mental state to think, hey, this is a great idea. I dislike this guy. I'm gonna go attack him in front of everyone. Come on. What you guys thoughts?
Just looking by his attire, he didn't like to give a fuck about much. Like it was just one of them things where he felt like he had a cause that he was down to die for, and proved it that day. Had his ass whooped.
Bad.
Yeah, and you could tell he didn't really. It didn't even look like he was phased by the ass whooping. As far as I kind of feel like he was kind of proud in his attempt to do what he did. He didn't look like in the picture I saw. He didn't look like he was kind of like disturbed. It was more like kind of like, yeah, I tried that shit and I would do it again type look in his face.
He probably would. He probably would. Mentally, that's tough to think. Like, what could be? Like, you can't be in a good space to do something like that, right? Yeah, I
It could have
couldn't think
been
so.
so much worse.
Imagine if he actually stabbed Chappelle. They would have killed that man on stage. They would have legitimately killed that man on stage.
No doubt.
My bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the silver lining is Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith in the process. He said he thought it was Will that jumped on stage, and I said, well, at least he can make fun of this. You know, he made light of that shit.
He said, "Was that Will Smith?" I thought that shit was hilarious.
I've actually been a part of something like this before. So I think what I was a part of was far more extreme. And just like to go in the mental space, like the guy who attacked our friend on stage, he hit him with a bat twice, and he was going for a third swing. He was going to try to kill him in front of all of us. He got his ass whooped too. He got drugged in the middle of that bar and got his ass whooped good. He was left on a gurney. If I could say anything, like the gentleman who did that went by the name of Jesus Christ, and he came on stage with a Bible and a dildo. So if that lets you know mental states of what's up
at your friend,
this was his comedy shtick.
Oh,
because my friend was a host of a show, so he he hit him. He banned him from the show because your name is Jesus Christ and you have a Bible and a dildo. So I think people who are willing to do things like that in the name of art have severe mental disorders because they think they're.
Had you ever seen the show before?
Who's?
The guy with the dildo.
Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
I have not. I did not. I was pleasantly not privy to seeing his act. I think I missed the day he was there. He wrote a manifesto, they said.
Oh, hell no.
So
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would be willing to bet this gentleman who jumped on the Hollywood Bowl stage, has some stuff that we could probably find.
Yeah.
I bet you it's out there.
He said if he goes, he goes.
Yeah.
The look on his face didn't look fake. I mean, he looked fucked up, but he didn't look like look kind of proud. Like, yeah, I got that far at least. Like,
I think it's wild that he got misdemeanor because his jail time is going to be almost none. He'll be back on the street.
He's not
on the streets. Yeah.
He'll get a fine, some community service type deal. And it's like, come on, it's like Dave's like, okay, yeah, I can sue him, but specifically, what can I gain? I'm going to spend more money suing him than what I'm going to win. So what's the point of that?
I think the bigger question I wanted to touch on is the comfortable approach that the people are now having more of refreshing the stage or reacting to people doing their jobs, uh, entertaining, and someone deciding that they needed to make them the example or make them the target of their cause of whatever thing they're trying to push. Like, I'm sure he had a reason why what he was doing, what he was doing. I just got checked for it, but like I see that it seems to be a common, like more common thing that people are trying to use that platform to, I guess, make a
You want to
statement.
know?
Want to know what his
His
agenda was?
his. Mm,
But what if he was like a John Lennon type thing, the guy who attacked John Lennon
it
and
wasn't that deep.
Versace? No, I'm just saying. It's just they liked the motherfucker, but they killed him. I think that this happening, it's going to sound weird, but it's probably better that this happened and the results that happened. Because I think the spawning of it came from seeing how Will walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock, and there was no repercussions. But everybody doesn't see that you're in a setting
I
of the
don't.
Grammys with the police and everything. This one, he got beat up. Like that's generally what would happen if
Well,
this were to happen outside
I
of a
think
setting like that.
I think that's two separate things because the thing with Will is that that's something you don't expect Will to do.
No, I
Ever.
understand.
That was unexpected. With this guy, anytime it's a person on stage from the crowd who it was not planned, it's all immediately taken as this is a threatening act. My further question is like he was bold to do it, but my main question is where the fuck was security?
Oh
'Cause,
yeah. So about that. So this
like,
is the same. This is the same security company uh, that was in charge of Travis Scott.
I say Travis Scott. How are they still around?
They have a known track record of failings, and I don't understand why people continue to use them.
I'm gonna tell you another thing about security. Guarantee you, they're paying like event staff security. And I
I
can tell
guarantee.
you when I was event staff security, I wasn't securing shit.
Right.
Yeah. He said, "I'm just
So
ready to
they,
say it."
so hopefully, I don't know. Who do you blame on that? Is that like the because it's not the artist who sets that up. Is that like the management team who says
no,
that, or the
that's the venue. That's the venue. So ultimately, whoever runs the Hollywood Bowl is really to blame. And if I was Dave,
And-
that's who I would sue because if you sue the guy, he doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Dave's the type of guy who'll bring that guy on tour. He's like, we're gonna get your life together, brother. He's like, you had to get that ass whooping first, but I don't know.
Like-
I hope it's not that, though. I hope people aren't more emboldened to come on stage like that because,
like
it's
I mean, he
not
had
gonna
to
end well.
he had to know there'd be repercussions for his for his actions, and I don't know. I can't attest to his mental. I mean, because I say, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna do it. F it. Let me go do it. I do that all the time, but never. Not to this extent where I'm gonna just go tackle somebody, a celebrity on stage, and first of all, I'm not paying for them tickets. I'm too cheap.
Yeah, he was front row.
Yeah, and the fact that plus my fat ass ain't finna climb over no barrier, so I'm already out. I'm already out. I don't know. I just from what he had on him, it had to be planned. Like he had to buy these. That's to me. That's the crazy part, because he had to buy the tickets with the intent of making the attack.
How did he get that past inside of the building? Like, he had a
Well,
gun with a knife on it.
If this is the same security from Travis Scott, are we asking this question? We already know they don't do their job. I did not hear you at all, sir. Are you muted?
He shouldn't have. Yeah, you have metal detectors.
I don't hear you. I don't hear you at all.
I forget. I know the gun was plastic. The gun wasn't.
The knife ain't plastic.
Depends on what the blade was made out of.
What are you talking about? I've got the same thing you're saying, bro.
I mean, you can make anything sharp.
Oh,
You
you
said this
talking
nigga,
about
this,
Chris?
this nigga had a plastic shiv. He showed up with a plastic
It obviously
spoon that
got through
he.
the metal detector.
No,
Nope.
no, nothing. You might have to shut it down and come back. Just shut everything down. I'll just keep rolling.
Yeah, we'll keep rolling.
Yeah. So I mean, it got through the metal detector. So whatever it was made out of, it clearly wasn't a metal material to be picked up on.
I just
I don't know.
don't hope it's not a trend.
I don't think it will be a trend because if they try to make this jumping on stage tackling, they need to make the you getting your ass kicked a trend too. A lot of times
Oh
people
yeah,
when people see that ass whooping, you know what I mean? When they see
I
that
knew
ass whooping,
another. I knew another comedian who knew jujitsu, and he was 6'6", 320. He's like, I wish you motherfucker would come on stage.
what I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in Dave because Dave said he wanted to, kick somebody in the throat. I wonder why he didn't. Well, he didn't see him coming.
Dave's also what 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He think he probably tried to get his foot up. He's like, never mind.
I will say this: he took the tackle like a G. Like he didn't
Oh
let
yeah,
it
bounced
let
off.
it fold him. Yeah, he didn't let him fold it. I will say that. So, but
They said
the
Buster Rhymes is back there stumping them homeboy out too.
oh man, they said Buster and Jamie was whooping this nigga's ass.
Oh,
Like
Jamie Foxx.
yeah,
Oh yeah, he's trying to be Mike Tyson too. Those are two people I don't want
yeah.
to get boo-bopped
Hey,
by.
Jamie trained with Will when Will was doing Ali. So I don't. Yeah, I
It's a
wouldn't want
little,
some problems. I don't
it's
want
a
some
little
problems
odd
at all.
right there, huh? A little
What was that?
oxymoronish right there. A
Yeah,
little ironic.
yeah. I don't think it could have been
Hey,
worse
what?
if Michael B. Jordan was there.
I don't know if we would have. What you
Then
think he would have done?
that's Creed right there. Come on now.
Oh no, I feel like Michael B. Jordan's only Creed on camera.
You're
You'd
gonna
be
say
like,
he's soft?
damn, that's
He's soft.
crazy.
He's
That's
soft.
crazy. You would have been standing like, damn.
Dave,
He don't want to hurt his nails.
Dave, you good?
Right.
Yeah. I saw it. I yelled. You didn't hear
You
me.
want some water? You want some water?
It's like I yelled. You didn't even hear me, Dave. Like that. That's I can see that shit going like that.
I do remember I was at a fight and some kid did that. We was in a big ass fight, and I was like, I don't want to fight, but I gotta help homie. And then we came over. He's like, that's the whole thing on camera. I was like, oh, you stood over here?
Oh yeah. I mean, so clearly the guy who attacked Dave Chappelle was confident in his abilities, although it did not go the way he thought it was. So I
I
guess
mean,
my question:
the tackle was better than most of the people in the NFL.
he did rap. He did wrap his
Mm-hmm.
arms. He can probably have a training video for that. But a question I have for you guys is: how do you guys take something you're confident in and then apply that to other areas? So like I mean, Kevin, you kind of already do this. Like you're already funny. You got your stand up, and you kind of take that and apply it to your videos. Like instead of like you're the rapper, you got bars. Do you take that? Do you take your rapping ability and like apply that to another area? Does it is it transferable? Is it a transferable talent? Like geek you with the technological stuff and the D&D. Like how do you guys do that or not?
I
But
more or less take the approach of what I do for comedy. Like funny is one of those weird ass things to me where I don't be trying to be funny and motherfuckers laughing. Sometimes I get upset, but that's shit to do with nothing. But I guess the way I do it when I do stand up is pretty mapped out. So I'm pretty is it maniacal? That's not the word I'm looking for, but like
oh, you're
meticulous.
meticulous, yeah.
Yeah, meticulous about how I do it. So when it's something
He's a rapper.
that I
His
want,
vocabulary is large.
I wanted to jump in there, and like I jump in with that same mentality for things that I'm not as confident in. I try to be as prepared because that's the only reason I think I'm confident in comedy is because I'm very prepared about how I'm about to go on stage.
Did you water that
So,
grass 3 times just like I told you?
oh, I watered it too much. I had to lower.
Flooded it. Flooded it. Okay.
Yeah, that shit is a little marsh.
Stutter, you how do you transfer your confidence in rap to other areas in your life or other things? Or
I was gonna say the same thing Kevin said. Um, I just I normally just go in and apply the same process or effort in everything I do. Like the approach, even if it's not the same thing, I just take the same approach. You put in the time, grind, have the mama mentality. I guess that's the best way I could say it. Is just no matter how you apply it, you just apply the same outlook that you don't want to half-ass anything you that you're applying it towards, even if it's no matter what you're doing. So if I go getting ready preparing for a show May 20th, if I'm preparing for a show, I'll make sure to the repetition of doing those songs, giving each song amount a proper time of getting ready and rehearsing, etc. is the same thing I apply to work. If I want to be successful at work, I'm doing the repetition of having the same rhythm and routine, make work smooth. Or if I'm doing something outside of that, something I've never done before, I'm gonna just have an understanding of I got to have a repetition, a routine, something that makes me successful in that, and everything I'm applying it towards. Am I still being heard, or am I still on a
Yeah,
technical
we
difficulty?
got you. We hear you. What was the date again? What was the date again?
May 20th.
five
May
two
20th.
zero?
What's happening?
Go
May
ahead.
20th, I'm performing.
Where at? Your
Performing.
location? What's the location?
Fullerton, the 634 State College Drive, Fullerton.
What's the name of the place? Venue?
I don't know what the name of the place is, but I know it's the game event
Okay.
called
Geek.
Game. Shout out to
Geek your
Diesel.
Diesel. Shaq Diesel?
Diesel 5K1,
Oh,
5001.
okay.
Former label mate. Shout out to him. He requested me to come out and perform.
That's what's up. I'll be there. I might be drunk, but I'll be there.
They both.
Geek your approach.
Um, hard to say because I'm honestly, I kind of fake it until I make it. Um, I don't know if I've touched on this,
Okay.
at least on the podcast, but I do suffer from imposter syndrome. So,
You want to tell people what that is? Define it.
in simple terms, while I can do something that's uh, positive or great, uh, internally, I feel like I'm a fake, I guess you could say. Like my compliments are not real. Uh, so it's for me when it comes to me doing certain things, it's always an internal battle. Um, it's usually what it comes down to is usually I just have to do it or at least start it, um, and just push through.
I'm gonna say. I thought when you said imposter syndrome, you meant like when these Instagram hosts.
When they say
No,
they're models or what?
Yeah, they just be imposter motherfucker.
When they be at random places all throughout the world
no. I mean,
in Beverly Hills.
They
you know
impartial.
how especially for like creative people, you know how you can be like your worst critic at
Yeah.
times.
Oh yeah, I think that's more than creative. I think that's people in general. You're your worst critic, especially if you
Well,
want things to be right.
take that to like 20 when it comes to imposter syndrome. Like it's like it doesn't matter how amazing someone thinks says that you are or whatever you're doing, you will never believe it, or it takes great effort to believe it.
You
And
fix that though.
huh?
How do you fix that?
I mean, Kevin, he said he's suffering from it.
Very good question.
I mean, he wouldn't have the answer
I'm
if he was
still, I'm
suffering.
still, I'm still, I'm still trying to figure that out. it's one of those, like I said, it's just one of those things that you never really get rid of it. You just find ways to deal with it.
You'd like take Molly?
He's going off the rails.
No, I don't mean like high doses because they got LSD they're starting to prescribe to people.
Woo!
He's going
Not to that extreme. No, you just sweating the state of brothers.
No.
Off the Molly, I'm sweating.
Do you think?
What happened to that nigga?
But the weird thing is, so for me, I do, even though I do suffer from that, there are times where I will have bouts of, oh yeah, I'm the shit when it comes to whatever this thing is. So it's not always a constant thing, but it's always an internal battle. It's always an internal battle.
Do you think it's a self-esteem thing mixed with self-doubt?
Yes.
So I think you need to work on those two things to get out of that other thing.
What I will say is, I guess I somewhat suffered from that when I first started, but you break out of it, especially with music, because you have to entertain it and be public. When you see people react to your shit so frequently that at some point you tell yourself, well, if all these motherfuckers are saying the same thing, I must not be as bad as I'm telling myself I am. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe present it more to the mass. Because if enough people say the same thing, it's like, shit, I must be doing something right. That's how I kind of broke out of mine. Like,
I hear you saying. I think I think for that approach you have to have the right mindset, because if you get to the mindset that where you do that, you throw it out there to the masses and you get great approval, then that could possibly turn into something where now you're one of these people who are striving for likes all the time. The likes.
I'm not
the likes
necessarily.
become, I'm not saying that happens to you, but I'm saying that I've seen people do that. People tell me they're good at certain things, and then they use the likes in the comments for validation.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm not saying in the validation standpoint. There's a fine line between allowing yourself to need their approval, but when you realize that you've been so hard on yourself, you're telling yourself that you're unable to, or maybe you're not as good as you think, or maybe it's not as good as you think. Sometimes enough people saying that opposite of what you're thinking will make you realize that maybe I'm too hard on my fucking self. Like, taking it that, because there is a fine line. You can't get to the point where you're looking for the gratification from other people to get you some sort of self-worth. But I mean, like, just being able to say, to break out of that standpoint or mind frame of what I do is not as good as I think it is. It's like when you have enough people saying the same thing, and it's like from different facets and different backgrounds, and they're all having the same outlook on what what you're creating. Then at that point, you might be able to snap yourself out of realizing that maybe I'm not as bad or as I am on myself. Or maybe I actually give myself a break and actually show that I actually have this talent that I possess. Because a lot of times it is hard to get out of that frame of mind of trying to tell yourself I'm dope. Maybe I am dope at what I do. It is, but it is a fine line because you can easily get caught up in that whole "I need their approval" shit. That comes with the side of trying to be popular in artistry.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. I think I did that with my beauty. I used to think I was ugly as fuck, but now I'm only gorgeous. So.
I mean, your wife accepts you, that that's all you know.
Hey, she can think I'm ugly, but I know I'm gorgeous. Whatever, shine when it's dark.
Yeah, what you say, Maurice? Water's for bitches.
I'm a bitch today.
As I've been drinking nothing but water since that day. Yeah. I would say that I guess my answer would be similar to Studden and Kevin. I just try to take everything with the approach of let me make sure everything is right. So let me prepare myself mentally and physically so that when I do start this task, I can complete it at the best of my ability. That's how I approach it. Because I'm one of those people who believe that I'm not really great at anything, but I'm good at a lot of things. I'm that person. Like I can do a lot of shit, but there's not a lot of stuff that I'm great at. But I'm good at a lot of shit. Like I dabble in a lot of things. So that's how I approach it. I just try to prepare myself. Um, and honestly, man, with like I've always said, YouTube University is A1 for me because I am a visual learner. So watching someone do something makes it way easier um, for me to complete that task or a similar task. So you know that's how I approach it. So we're gonna move on here, and I had it, and then my lovely wife had to interrupt my train of thought. So we're gonna move on to a Reddit post here. We're gonna react to a Reddit post. Um, and the subject is I'm exhausted. I feel this already. He says I feel I feel myself slipping into a depression, and I feel like I'm losing control. I try and challenge my thoughts every day, but it's so tiring, and I feel like I'm always having a conversation with myself and can't seem to focus. I do try and do everything to help my mental health, but as soon as I go to work or do things that aren't or do things that aren't things I want to do in my spare time, my head just gets so noisy and I get so irritated. I am so exhausted. I feel like I'm always being analytical and sometimes a bit too hard on myself, and I don't know how to stop. Any advice?
I think
Take a
that's most
vacation.
people. Most people that want more for themselves usually have that some sort
Facts.
of form of that. If you're always going to feel like you want more, you're always going to be the hardest on yourself. You're going to hit points when you don't reach what you want, and you're going to hit a depression because you feel like you know that you failed yourself. That is common. It's just being able to identify and like we said last pod, take the little wins, the little steps towards progress. Don't discount those either. Those are important. Those little successes are important, even if it's not where you want to be. It's still a step in that direction, so that's important. Take the win.
I saw. I want to hear your take. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I saw a I believe it was Kevin Gates, and he said something like he had to change his mindset. He said he changed the way he thought about things and the way he spoke about things. So he said instead of saying, "Oh man, I got to do this," or "I got to do that," you got to say, "I get to," because it's the very things that you're complaining about doing, someone would love to be able to do it. So if you say things like, "Oh, I get to go to work today. I get to drive down to the corner. I get to play with my kids." Like it's a different mindset. Like you turn you take the negative out of the situation, and it makes it easier for you to get through the activity type
Discipline,
deal.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years with masturbation.
Discipline. You get to
So
beat off?
I get to beat the meat.
who gonna take it from you?
Huh? What?
Why not?
I'm just saying. Like, I think that goes hand in hand with the whole mindset of you're responsible for your own happiness. You know, because I do believe that if you're doing something that don't make you happy, just don't do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think.
there are situations where you have to fight through it because there's some things that are necessity,
You
like
mean like work?
you and washing your ass.
Oh well,
Or
you should want to wash your ass.
I know some people
I
who don't.
I think Kevin Gates, when he is throwing up, he goes, "I get to throw up today."
I
Like
mean,
when he's sick.
he probably said
Yeah,
instead
yes, possibly.
instead of saying I get to throw up, he probably says my body's getting rid of what's not supposed to be here.
Maybe. I've been with them white boys. It's pretty fun. Had my
Then
homeboy. He was throwing
then
up, and then he was like, "Outside."
the rise
Uh,
of the rise of eating asses,
uh,
is astounding. So a lot of them be throwing up because they ain't supposed to be doing that shit.
Is this fact? I hope this is
I
fact.
don't know. I
I
don't know.
hope this is like a thing that after you eat ass, you
I
it's fun
mean,
though.
you get E. coli poisoning from Mm.
Oh,
You think if you're in the area that
that's what they're gonna think I got. That's why they think I'm pissing on my asshole. They're gonna say that's the rumor at work now. Probably Kevin was eating ass.
uh, you should pop up a random pink eye.
No, some dude came to work with pink eye. That's the first thing. I was eating ass. Sorry, we were a little
So
off.
what's your response, Geek? Is he there?
Taking a shot.
He probably is
He's
taking a shot.
taking a shot. That's his response. I think
Yeah,
homie need to take vacation too,
that is true.
if he can.
I think sometimes you need to get away to
Sorry,
recenter,
my mic
refocus.
for whatever reason stopped.
No, you was eating, nigga. Don't lie.
He was eating
No,
ass.
he, no,
Uh,
but it really does sound like he needs.
Oh
It
God,
don't
I
even
need
have to be a long. It doesn't even need a long vacation, but
Kevin.
he
I needed that.
needs
I needed that.
some
I
time
needed
away.
that laugh.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
she
always
said
tell
time
people
away.
at work.
Time away.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Even if it's a staycay.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
told them I was about to take 2 weeks off of work and go nowhere. You guys gonna call me, be like, nope, I'm not coming anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Um.
Sometimes you just need that time to reset.
take that time every Friday.
That grind don't stop. That's the thing. Is it don't
Yeah.
stop.
Grind don't stop, because the bills keep coming.
Yeah.
They're never gonna stop. Yeah. So I'd have to. I'd say, sir, step away. I'd say, sir. I'd say step away and just reevaluate, because what I've learned in my recent years is that a lot of things that I thought were important to me were not. So I think once you can hone in on what really matters to you and what really makes you happy, um, you'll see an improvement.
Hey,
Definitely.
only the good things.
Yeah.
Think about the good things. Not everything's bad.
We're going to go into another one. Title of this one is Isolating Myself Because of Guilt and Shame. Maybe he was doing too much masturbating.
Is
No
that a
such thing.
thing? I was
And
gonna
he got,
say, is that a
No
thing?
such thing.
if you
Is
get
it, well,
caught,
there might. Never
if you get
mind.
caught, you caught the
I've
wrong
been
person.
caught. You think that stopped?
Let me finish this nut. You can arrest him real quick.
So it goes, I feel like I should stop talking to my friends because they don't know my past. I keep pushing myself for the past misdeeds, and I don't want to deceive them and trick them into thinking I'm a good person because I'm not. I know 100% that many would hate me if they knew how much of a horrible person I used to be, and sometimes I feel like I'm not being honest with them and don't deserve to move on.
Sounds like
Only
the
one of
other
my
person.
friends know my story, but they don't know all of it, so I still feel like I am lying to them. Whenever they're being nice to me, I feel even worse because I'm convinced I'm unworthy because, unlike them, I am truly awful. Mr. Wendell?
I mean, he's gonna have to not isolate him. That ain't gonna make him feel no better. He's gonna go crazy thinking he's a bad person. But I think we all got something that we don't tell people, and that don't make you a horrible person. Like he said, that was like he learned from whatever it was. So if he feels like a bad person, that should mean that you're not a bad person for the shitty things you've done. Like you were shitty then, doesn't mean you're shitty now. So I think he needs to realize that, he or she, I should say, and just understand that all these people wouldn't be around you if you were that bad, just because you have a bad past.
Yeah.
You don't have to share everything with everybody. That's just facts.
And I think the big thing is it's not who you were yesterday; it's who you are today.
Yeah.
A lot of times people get roped up in their past. Can the past come to haunt you? Yeah, but you got to own that shit. Take it on the chin. Own it and be better. So yeah, that's who I was, but I'm not that person anymore. and then all you can do is take the steps that you feel are necessary to atone for what you've done in the past. That's how I see it. McFly.
Sounds like the other person from a couple weeks ago that she identified she was such a horrible person. That's
Oh,
like
the one that was on Tinder and cheating and trying to
yeah.
and
It
catching.
seems like the evolution, like it was a step towards that. Like this is the person after that. Like
Oh,
it graduated from this to this, and it's like okay, I used to have this past, and now if I tell people like it's like I don't know, like Evan said, if you feel like you're a good person now, the past shouldn't matter as long as you're trying to be a good person now. I mean, granted, it can always come back, but as long as you're trying to take strides and being a good person now, that's what you should be looking towards instead of behind. So that's all I can say on the subject.
forgive yourself. That's something that needs to be done. Is to be said. It's a hard thing to forgive yourself because I can say I've done some shit in my past that I'm not necessarily proud of, and individuals or that were involved in the stuff have forgiven me, and it took me longer to forgive myself, and it was more beneficial to do that than hold on to it and suffer because of it. Because that's the only way you can let go of stuff is if
I mean,
you truly forgive.
forgiving yourself is part of the steps to recovery.
Yeah.
First, you have to admit, then you have to forgive yourself. That's part of one of those
And
steps.
they sound like they've admitted what they've done is wrong.
Yeah.
Like they know.
And the thing is, I would also say that your friends now aren't doesn't necessarily mean just because they're friends they're privy to what you've done in the past, because they're friends with the new you. They're not friends with the old you. Unless what you've done in the past is directly affecting them, then it really is none of their concern, and it doesn't really matter unless you just want to be completely open because you feel like, hey, they're such good people. You know, I don't see any reason for you to have to divulge all of your past to your friends. Personally,
Only cans.
only cans. So
I thought you said Willie cans. I was like, who the fuck is?
So we're gonna end episode 43 on this. I'm gonna ask you guys this, and we didn't talk about this. I'm just gonna ask you, how do you all measure growth, like your mental growth?
Ah, reactions for me a lot of times. The way I used to react to shit was even the small things were big things. And I've gotten better at deciphering what's what. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I can decipher what's actually something that, hey, this is something we need to be concerned about. And if it drives me nuts, at least let's tackle this as opposed to like this is kind of minuscule. Like I've been able to hone that a lot more. And I think that has to be a sign of some sort of mental growth. So I guess I measure it off of my responses a little more than anything.
So
I think I'm dumb as shit
you're not
every day. I'm just saying, as far as my approach, I just feel like I just gotta learn. That's how I look at it. Like I don't ever look at it and go, let me measure my mental growth. I just think I'm unaware of shit that I need, and there's stuff out there I need to know.
So you're saying you're not as self aware as you would like to be?
Yeah, but I
That's
think that's
that's
my
not bad.
approach towards things. Is I never go in thinking I know anything. I just want to go in thinking I got to know something. There's something out there I got to know.
Yeah.
When you say
So I
go in,
don't
do
look.
you mean like certain situations, or like
This is life in general. Like it's like as far as there's stuff that I don't know. Like as far as the whole home ownership and music or whatever. Everything that I've ever approached, I usually went in uh, acting as if I didn't know anything. Even if I knew something, I acted as if I didn't know anything because there's still shit out there I don't know. So when I would go in and pick the brains of all the artists that I came across, I would act as if I didn't know anything. I didn't let them know I rapped. I didn't know let them know anything. I just went in as if I was a brand new novice person that just picked up the pen for the first time. And when I did that, people seem to be a little bit more forthcoming with knowledge than if you let them know that you know something, and they kind of be a little bit more like you're more competition. So I've always looked at it as my mental growth is based on just acting as if I don't know anything, trying to grow more. Because so every day I wake up thinking, hey, there's a lot of shit I don't know today. Let me learn it.
Do you think that is a mechanism that you have evolved or cultivated into growing yourself?
Yeah, yeah. But that's from even being a kid. Yeah, it's a defense mechanism. I had to learn because it was a lot of shit that was happening around me that was grown shit that I wasn't understanding that was going on at 4, 5, 6. Like when my parents were doing what they were doing or acting a certain way, I had to kind of learn fast on the curve. But it was based on um people always assuming what's this 4-year-old know, what's this 5-year-old know, what's this, and it became somewhere I was like, yeah, you think I don't know anything, but I'm gonna treat the situation if I don't know shit. And I have the one up on you because you underestimate me.
So it's the whole go ahead and lie to me because I know you're lying.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's a lot to unpack there. So we'll get the geek.
That's what she said.
I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out. I will say I still hold a lot to myself, but comparably to how I used to be growing up, I do share and try to unpack a lot more than I did in the past. Before, I was very, very good at just locking everything away and just, for lack of a better word, playing a role. Um, Usually people would take that as me being super chill or super shy or whatnot. And it was really just me locking whatever I was feeling at the time away and just essentially wearing a mask the entire time. Now, while I still hold a lot to my chest, uh, I do let a lot more of my emotions out. I'm not uh, the robot that I feel like I used to be, if that makes sense.
I think for myself, or I know for myself, every so often I get into this mood where I want better. I want more. I strive for balance and evolution, and I think what I notice is that that's normally when I expand my way of thinking, my thought process, the way I approach things, the way I see things, the way I try to see things, the way I try to do things, and I think that's when I go through um, my growth periods. Um, like I just like I said at the beginning of the pod, like I've been self reflecting a lot recently, and it's just a lot of things about myself I realize that are counterproductive to myself, and I think that was a hard school to follow. Sorry, hard pill to swallow. Um, and I guess I'm also like I'm back in the mindset of is if it ain't good for me, if it's not working for me, it's time to just let it go. Like that's like kind of like the headspace I've been in. Like you know, uh, like I take something like you've tried this approach before, and now you're attempting it again. So if it didn't work the first time, I mean, it's not to say it won't work the second time, but it's like maybe we should do something a little bit different. Like, and I think that's how I measure my growth because when I get to the mode where like I'm always striving for more, but then when I get into the headspace of where I'm actually taking steps to achieve that more, I think that's when I um, experience my mental growth. I think that's when the wisdom starts to set in for me personally. But with that being said, this is episode 43. Um,
May 20th, 663. State College, Fullerton Boulevard.
Southern McFly will be there. I am your host, Molito, with these guys. Go ahead and state your names.
Southern McFly, aka Jesse the Barber son.
Kevin Bubbly Ellis. What's
Bubbly,
the other shit? Bubbly, bubble guts. I had the bubble guts.
okay.
Champagne. Champagne? You want me to call it champagne?
I was thinking more like the sparkling water, but okay.
Yeah.
And this is Geek 40, aka when I touch grass, grass seems to touch back.
What? Oh, yeah.
When you touch grass, grass seems to touch you back.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I'm not even
Fuck
gonna.
it.
Allergies.
Oh, okay. Okay. That was the allergy. Okay. Well, again, this is episode 43. We appreciate all the support. We are on everything: Spotify, Apple Music, Play Music, iHeart, Amazon Music, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Appreciate the love. Till next time, peace. We out.
All right. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you're a real one for sticking to the end. Just want to thank you again for listening and stay tuned for the next episode. 40 out.